Go ahead.
Okay, so here we are at Dunwald Farms today, and we do a lot of different kinds of experiments, different kinds of growing. Almost all of them are organic, but one thing that can be done organically or not organically is a fun thing called straw bale gardening, where you actually plant the plants in the straw bales directly. So I'll explain a little bit about how to set it up, and that's what we're getting ready to do today. But first of all, let's emphasize that it's straw bales, not hay bales. Okay, straw has holes in the middle of it, and you can have wheat straw or rye straw. And if you put the cut side of the bale up, it lets the fertilizer and water really soak in there, which facilitates the conditioning process for the bales. With straw bale gardening, you need to condition the bales for about 2 weeks before you plant in them. What the conditioning process does is it gets the center of the bale starting to decompose and turning into humus, which is what the plant roots are really going to like. So to get that process started, you have to add nitrogen in the form of either organic or non-organic fertilizer and get it in the bale. So there's a schedule. There are lots of books written about this, but essentially over the course of the next 2 weeks, we're going to put about a pound of fertilizer into each of these bales. We have 50 of them here in 3 rows, so we need about 50 pounds of regular fertilizer. What you're really looking for, regular lawn fertilizer, what you're looking for all but the very end of the conditioning process is a high nitrogen fertilizer with very little potassium or phosphorus, because it's the nitrogen that's going to attract the microbes that start the interior of the bale breaking down. So what you do is, if you're using a high concentration nitrogen fertilizer, you'd get about a half a cup measure, and you'd get a scoop here for day one. This is day one of the 2-week conditioning process, and you sort of sprinkle it over the whole surface of the bale, just like this, like you see here. So it's kind of nice and even, and you're going to do that for every single bale that you're doing your straw bale gardening with. Okay, so this is day one of the conditioning process. So I'm going to do that for all 50 bales. And then when I'm done, I'm going to skip ahead on these first 2 bales so you can see the whole process of day one of the straw bale gardening conditioning process. You set your hose nozzle so it really pushes the water in. You're going to use water to saturate the bale and push the fertilizer in. And when you've done that with all of your bales, you've completed day one of the straw bale conditioning process. Just like this. You're going to really soak it good, and you're going to use the pressure of the nozzle to push that fertilizer down into the bale so it can start cooking. At the end of the conditioning process, you're going to let the bales rest for a couple of days, and then you're ready to plant. So here on day one, we're putting a half a cup of high nitrogen fertilizer. This has an N of 24, the one that we're using right here today. This particular one is not organic, but it conditions the bales faster. And there are organic alternatives, but you would use about 3 times as much, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It's important that whatever fertilizer you use